What's up, my idols? Let's talk about the refrigeration cycle. Let's go. Before we begin, let's first discuss the working fluid used in this system, which is the refrigerant. So the refrigerant is used as a working fluid because it has the ability to evaporate at a low temperature. Take note, my idols, that when a liquid evaporates, it means it's absorbing heat. To understand it better, let's compare the refrigerant to water. So on a ship, there are different kinds of refrigerants that you'll see. So different kinds of refrigerants have different boiling temperatures needed for them to evaporate. The example we'll use is this R134A. So on a ship, this is the refrigerant used in the air conditioning systems, like the engine control room, workshop, high voltage room, low voltage room. So this R134A. So this is used because it's more efficient, and at the same time it doesn't really affect the environment much, like the ozone layer compared to other refrigerants. Now let's compare R134A to water. So as I said earlier, the refrigerant is used because it has the ability to evaporate at a low temperature. And take note, evaporation depends on the pressure. So this 1 bar here, this is our atmospheric pressure at sea level. So we need negative 26.2 degrees Celsius for the R134A to boil. As for water, we need 100 degrees Celsius, and we must have an atmospheric pressure of 1 bar. Because if we're on a mountain and we only have 0.3 bar of pressure, atmospheric pressure, that means we also need a lower temperature to boil the water. Let's just clarify this, my idols. So evaporation depends on pressure, right? So the relation between temperature and pressure is directly proportional. If you have a high pressure, you also need a high temperature to boil the water. So here, if your pressure is low, you also need a low temperature to boil the water. So this is the system used in a freshwater generator. To lower the 1 bar, we use a vacuum to make the seawater boil inside the freshwater generator. But we won't focus on the freshwater generator because our topic is refrigerant, the refrigeration cycle. Water, when its pressure is high, you also need a high temperature for it to evaporate. So that's it. Now that we have an idea of what a refrigerant is, let's first familiarize ourselves with the parts of this system. So this is the air conditioning unit that cools our low voltage room. At the bottom, we can see the compressor and the condenser. At the top, we can see the evaporator, filter dryer, and on its side, there's the expansion valve. If we draw it, this is what it will look like. So this is the compressor, condenser, filter dryer, expansion valve, evaporator. So like this. But I don't have time anymore because it's 1 o'clock. In the next video, we will discuss the purpose of each part and what happens when the refrigerant flows through the system. So that will be in the next video because I'm going to sleep now. So bye.